Committee to order. The committee convenes today to consider the administration's request for a budget for the fiscal year 2010. President Bush has left President Obama an economy in crisis and a budget in deficit. Spending will overtake revenues by an unprecedented $1.3 trillion during this fiscal year alone. President Obama has responded with a budget which shows that he is not flinching or stalling, but meeting the challenge head on. The President has recognized that we have not one but two deficits. The first is an economy clicking on four cylinders, running at 6.8% or $1 trillion below its full potential. To move our economy closer to its potential, the President has signed into law a package of stimulus measures totaling $787 billion. Excuse me. We're in the stratosphere. He then turned to the budget and at the White House summit stated his determination to cut the deficit by half by 2013. It's almost impossible to balance the budget when the economy is in recession, even harder when we do what we must to make the economy better because it frequently makes the deficit worse, at least for the short run. But here's the stark reality that confronts us this morning. The deficit that President Bush left behind will constitute 12.3% of GDP. To be fair, if you simply take measures that are solely contributable and confined to the Bush administration, it's 9% of GDP. In any event, it is a substantial number. And here is President Obama's response. Over the next 4 years, under his budget, the deficit will be pared down to 3.1% or 3% of GDP in the year 2013. That's an ambitious goal. President Obama's budget slices the deficit by more than half, to $533 billion in 5 years. But it's not so committed to deficit reduction that it overlooks other compelling needs. It takes on topics, indeed, that have been ignored by earlier budgets as too tough to tackle. Climate change, health care for the 46 million who are uninsured, and it slows down defense spending and fixes the alternative minimum tax. Now, critics will single out instances where additional revenue is raised, for example, by allowing certain concessions for upper bracket taxpayers to expire at the end of 2010. But the bigger picture will show that this budget leaves in place the middle income tax cuts adopted in 2001 and 2003, the 10% bracket, the child tax credit, and marriage penalty relief. The budget indexes the alternative minimum tax to keep it from burdening middle-income taxpayers for whom it was never intended. It extends the estate tax at 2009 levels, and it helps working families by renewing make-work pay. More detail is needed before we can write a budget resolution, and in that connection, it's important to note that some of the President's initiatives must be implemented via reserve funds yet to be funded. So this is just the beginning, but it's a bold beginning for the 2010 budget process. Many in Congress, myself included, are pleased to see the deficit decline through 2013, but we want to see it declining thereafter. So this is not by any means the end of the process. In the weeks ahead, I hope we can improve the budget in this and many other ways. Now, before going further with our testimony from Mr. Orszag, let me turn to Mr. Ryan for any statement he wishes to make.
Thank you, Chairman, and